Good morning and welcome to Morning Java, brought to you as always by Get Go Cafe and Market, where right now they've still got those $4.99 7-inch subs, and they've always got the fresh food. They've got curbside delivery. They're doing everything they can at the Get Go Cafe and Market to make sure that you can get fresh food anytime. Taylor, I've been taking advantage of it, and I think it's a great service that they're doing right now.
Yeah, the curbside delivery, that's clutch. You just order on the Giant Eagle app, and then you call and you get there, and they just bring it out to your car. Like
It's so
the
nice.
best curbside delivery of like any food place.
Yeah, it's amazing. But
Yeah.
let's talk about some sports before we start talking about our fun stuff at the end of the week. Taylor, so there were some interesting tidbits, about the Rooney Rule and it being expanded. They were talking about with draft and incentives being given out, and then that was tabled, quote unquote. I really don't think that was ever actually something that they were considering. I think the biggest thing that they did was that they made sure that, hey, you have to interview more candidates, and at least some of them have to be exterior candidates. So it doesn't really force a team to select a minority coach, but it does make them have to bring more people in. But you were telling me off air about an option that was being done by the Maple Leafs in hockey with their scouting system.
Yeah, Kyle Dubas did it. He's the GM of the Maple Leafs. He did something a couple years ago now where, they had an opening for a scout, and they had candidates submit online anonymously. They'd fill out a scouting report for like a game or whatever, and then whoever was the hiring crew, they didn't have any info on the candidate at all. They could only judge off of the scouting report, and one of the highest applicants was the highest scoring candidates was a woman who she played college hockey, wasn't a very well-known college hockey player.
Wow.
And because of that, I mean, she probably wouldn't have gotten an interview otherwise with any other team, and she got the job based off of just merit, which I think, because everyone's like, oh, the people that don't like the Rooney Rule stuff, they're like, oh, just hire the best candidate. It's like, well, sometimes the best candidates just aren't getting hired. And
yeah, that's the bottom line behind it, is when you look at the best candidates. I mean, Adam Gase, as an NFL coach, was hired by the Dolphins, was horrible, and now it's been rehired by the Jets within a year. And I mean, and again, they're horrible. And the Jets, they saw Adam Gase. They saw how bad he was. So, why would they add him? And I mean, this year in football, you had two minority coaches coordinating the offense of the Chiefs and the defense of the 49ers, both of which were arguably the best of their units across the NFL. Neither got a job, while there were 5 new head coaching jobs handed out. One was to a special teams coach. There's a lot of those types of questions. But that's the interesting thing about this is, could an anonymous system that says that by the merits, could that even work in a coaching situation for any sport? Because when you're talking to coaches, you have to have that personal side of them, right?
Yeah, that, and you kind of with a coach, I think it matters more what their coaching experience is, which you kind of have to know. I don't know. I still think there could be some kind of anonymous system where they fill out a questionnaire, but that's not the only. Because I mean, even the Leafs, they didn't just look at all the anonymous scouting reports and say okay, that's what we're hiring. There was still an interview process, but that was the first step to, I don't know, because the Leafs, they did, you couldn't just, someone off the street couldn't just submit this. They found a pool of qualified candidates. They had this anonymous system, and then there's still an interview process, but it let them know who was qualified, where any of their own bias, because you don't have to be an outright racist, misogynist, whatever. It's not we're not going to hire this guy because he's black. It's people have their own biases they might not be aware of.
Yeah. They just think that, hey, this guy fits my system. I'm not thinking about that. But deep down, it's oh, wait, but there are these biases that I'm not even aware of that I have. And which is why I guess the anonymous thing would come into play. I do think it would be impossible to do the anonymous, because you have to know, for example, if Mike Tomlin were to leave the Steelers right now and his anonymous thing came up and it said coach 13 years in the AFC, be well, we're pretty sure we know who that guy is. But
it's obviously every other.
Exactly.
Every answer start with obviously.
Right. And then every single answer on the anonymous sheet says, well, obviously. But how about this as an idea? What if there was a metric, a grading system that was established and agreed upon beforehand, where you got so many points for how many years you've coached, how many things you've done, where your units ranked, players that you've coached that have gone all pro, or if you went to college, if they went to the NFL, but a grading system that allowed you.
Yeah, that I like.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking, is that way it's not necessarily anonymous, but now it's like when said coach gets passed over now and you hire a coach, you're like, well, hey, wait a minute, this coach A over here had all these years of being a coordinator and had coached a top 10 defense for, the past 6 seasons. When you picked this coach over here that has barely been a coordinator for a year and was a mediocre coordinator. So like, I think that could be an answer. It still would be tough because then you have to ask questions: who's creating this system? Is the system biased towards or against certain other things? But I do think it would be at least something that people should be willing to explore.
Yeah, I mean, because anything we're talking about, it's not going to be like the only part of the process of finding a coach. It would just be like a step that would, I guess, make people more aware of who is out there. But I do like that as a step. But the problem is, with a lot of leagues, you're seeing the same people recycled over and over.
Yeah.
Like, especially the NHL. If you look at the changes in the NHL this year, there are a lot of coaching changes, and I think there's only one new coach brought up from the AHL. So that's another thing. It's like if the NFL, you're hiring new coaches, it's hard, like the pool is not diverse to begin with. Right. So it's not an easy fix either way, but I mean, there are steps they could take to make it better.
All right, Taylor, let's talk about some of the stuff we've been doing in our quarantine mode. I'm still not kind of quarantined, but I've quarantined myself here. But food is something that everyone's tired of washing dishes. Some people are ordering out now, especially now that things are starting to open back up. Some people are doing the takeout options, the curbside deliveries. What are some of the things that you've been doing?
Yeah, honestly, I've been trying to eat at home as much as I can. And I've used this as an opportunity to clean out my freezer, stuff that's been in there for like a long time.
Wait, how long? What was the longest thing you found?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I've had stuff like frozen, like broccoli, stuff like that's been in there, I know, for a few years. But so then I've been eating pretty healthy because I have gotten groceries too, but I've been eating healthier than I have in a long time. I've been eating so much sweet potatoes and fish, no white carbs at all for a while. I've been trying to do that, but I think where you are, it's kind of hard for you to cook, right?
Yeah. So for those who don't know, I've kind of quarantined myself in a specific spot because I go to work every day still, and people at my job are getting it here and there. So I've isolated myself so that in my house, nobody has to interact with me. I have my own bathroom, my own kitchen. But the problem is I don't have any of my cooking utensils. So I've been forced to kind of go rogue and kind of do some guerrilla cooking. I still make stuff for myself all the time. I do some stir fry here and there. I do I make these rice bowls for myself that I like to make. I'll put together some different dishes that I know that I can do easily. But I don't have a crock pot, so I can't go and get my favorite meat and then slow cook it all day. But what I've been doing is, on top of my rice bowls, and I've been, the dishes that I've been making specific orders. And one, I guess like I say every show, I'm not joking. I go to Get Go when I need a quick fix. It does a really good job. Mike's Beer Bar is my every weekend trip now. I go out there. I take advantage of their box entrees. I had New York strip steak that was so good. I asked for medium rare, and they were on the money. It was some good steak. Came with some cauliflower and some potatoes. It was just wonderful. So if you check out Mike's Beer Bar, they're doing a great job, and they're one of our sponsors. But on top of that, I've been trying to make sure I keep a fix in. I keep in treats for me throughout the week. Wednesday night is usually wing night for me during like a regular week. So I've maintained that. So my favorite wing spot in Pittsburgh is William Penn Tavern. I go there, I get my wings, and like I'll get the kitchen sink or the spicy ranch flavors. Either one just does it for me. It hits me in the soul, and I just love it. And then like I might do like a burger night at some point. But I'm trying not to get too crazy with it. I am trying to stay healthy because I do occasionally like, okay, we'll go to this place. They have some seafood, or they have some like a poke bowl or something like that. But I've been trying to diversify as much as I can because I don't want to get stuck on one thing. Because that's when you start to make really bad decisions, because then you're like, you know what? I've been eating these healthy things. Let me make a really reckless decision. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, why did I do that?
Yeah, I mean, I'll you can get like fried appetizers from Get Go, so I've like done that, and that's a good every now and then type of thing. I don't know, but I have ordered one of my favorite things I've ordered was from Jimmy's Famous Seafood, which is in Baltimore, in Dundalk. I ordered cream of crab soup.
Whoa.
They ship it. They do free 2-day ship. They've been doing like promo codes if you follow them on like Twitter or Facebook. Every like couple of days they'll do like a free 2-day shipping thing. So
why haven't you told me about this? I would totally do this.
I know. So like you can get like crab cakes. They have like all kind like cream of crab. They have Maryland crab soup. They have like you get like shrimp. I think you can just order like crabs if like that's your thing too. I don't really like just straight crabs, so you have to like
break them apart. No, yeah. I know what you mean.
Yeah, but I've done that. I ordered 6 pints of cream of crab because it's like pretty cheap too. But then so I was only eating cream of crab for like a couple of days. I've been doing that. I've wanted like wings, but every time I've been to Giant Eagle, they don't have them anymore. Like my Giant Eagle's been out of wings for like months. Yeah, I know. I'll have to do like Gecko because Gecko has them too. But I mean, I like making them at home in my air fryer myself, and like
air fryer is another thing I miss having. It's in my kitchen that I normally would use, and unfortunately, I cannot use it.
We're struggling here.
All right, Taylor. So we've been all having to do something to pass the time since we can't go out and enjoy things. There's no sports on. What are some of the TV shows you're watching? Because I know you talked about this with Hunter like a few months ago, but by now we've all probably binged at least 2 different series.
Yeah, because I think when I did this with Hunter, I talked about The Man in the High Castle and 11/22/63, but like I that was so long ago. Like I'm done with those. Like I watched those. God, I've been clearing out my DVR. When this started, I was at like 98%. Like it was pretty full. And I just cleared everything out yesterday.
Wow.
And what that was like 40 episodes of The Simpsons, and then like a bunch of different like TLC shows that I watched. But yeah, I watched it all. So now I'm kind of struggling. The last series I rewatched though was it's on Hulu. It's called Pitch.
Okay.
It's about it's only one season and like 10 episodes maybe, but it's about a girl who gets called up to like it's like a fictional show about it's a woman and she plays for the Padres in the MLB.
So pitching. I'm thinking like singing pitch, but okay.
No, it's baseball. She's a pitcher and she plays for the Padres, and it's such a good show. And like the way they do it, because I mean, if you're missing baseball right now, that's a good thing to watch because it's cool, like what they get into, and like. But then they also make it where if you're really not into baseball, they kind of like explain things. It's like the trade deadline happens, and like they briefly explain that kind of stuff, or like stuff with like the mechanics of pitching. Like I can't remember what her favorite pitches, but like they explain what that is, like that kind of stuff. But like if you're into baseball, I mean, it's really exciting, and I'm kind of sad that it ended. It was like in 2017, I think that came out. But yeah, so you gotta get on that. But what have you been watching now?
I've been all over the place. I got Disney Plus, so I was rolling with so I was a big fan of the Star Wars Clone Wars cartoon. and that was doing that. I mean, it was great for like 7 years, and it kind of stopped like 5 years ago, and then they came back and made the final season of it. And over the past like month, the last 4 episodes were like one movie pieced into episodes, and they were spectacular. And I gotta say, if you're a Star Wars fan, if you've ever watched the series, Ahsoka Tano, who is really strong in the last season. She's for those who don't know, Ahsoka Tano is Darth Vader's apprentice when he was Anakin Skywalker in the original Clone Wars. So she's not in the movies, but her character's become so popular, they're gonna put her in the second season of The Mandalorian. And a lot of Star Wars fans are very excited because she's a very cool Jedi. She uses 2 lightsabers. She does a lot of stuff, and she fights with Darth Maul several times, who's also made a return in that. So that was something I was really into, but that ended, and it's kind of sad because it's like, man, like give me more.
I've never seen anything Star Wars, so everything you just said was like
come on, Taylor. Come on, Taylor. At least watch the original 3. That's all we're asking.
I know of The Mandalorian.
Okay.
Like, I know that's the Baby Yoda show.
Yes, that's Baby Yoda. Yes, Baby Yoda is there. Although it's odd, Baby Yoda is actually 50 years old, which is the.
Oh yeah, no, because I did like Google it. I think when it came out, like what is this Baby Yoda I've been seeing everywhere? But yeah, so I did look into it, but
So I watched that, but the show I'm into right now is on Netflix. It's a CW show called All American, and it's about this young running back in high school. He plays in Crenshaw, which is a neighborhood out in LA, and a coach from the Beverly Hills High School comes to him and says, "Hey, I can get you to the NFL," and so he brings him over, and so there's this immediate clash of culture as he comes to this new team, and he's the superstar that's going to help them win. But with that, the show explores just kids that grow up in rich environments versus kids that grow up in poor environments. It explores race dynamics. It explores just normal high school stuff when you get popular because you're really good at football and the tough decisions that you sometimes have to make. It explores what it's like to go to be a big brother to, a big brother that doesn't have a father, or, when people have father issues and family issues and medical issues. I'm in the second season of it now. And my girlfriend and I, we do Netflix party every night. We watch at least 2 episodes, and I mean, we're glued. And and every night, we're like, man, okay, we're good. And then they'll throw a cliffhanger in the last episode. We're like, no, and now we want to watch more. So as soon as we're done here, that's actually what I'm going to be doing. Is picking up on where we left off last night. But All American, if you're a football fan, the first season is really cool. It has some nice football action in it, but it's really a cool drama that gets you asking a lot of questions about just relationships and how that works into and the pressures that go into kids that play in these super high school programs, which to me has always been fascinating when you have to ask, you got these places that hold these kids up to be like gods in their own schools. I mean, and I never went through that too much in Alderdice, but when you go, so you're in California or Texas, or you're just in a school where it's that prominent, it forces a lot of questions on you at an early age.
Yeah, high school football is pretty big here too, which
it is.
I think was kind of crazy to me when I moved here, because where I'm from, Baltimore County, it's not I don't know. We had, because I was the drum major of the marching band, and we had kids in the marching band that were also on the football team.
Hey,
so halftime they just go I don't know, but football's not that big. But you said Crenshaw. Have you ever seen any of the Bring It On movies? Wasn't one of them based?
Have I seen any of the Bring It On movies?
Wasn't one of is Crenshaw Heights was the name
Clover.
of the. Yeah, it was the Clovers. Yeah, Crenshaw Heights was the school she got transferred to.
Yeah, so the Gabrielle Union. Okay, so last day before Gabrielle Union. So
that was that one, yeah.
Yeah, so actually, I read her second book, and she talks about that, and she said how that character. So her character is really smart, and she's going to college on a scholarship for academics, and they come up with these great cheers that the richer school is copying, but originally, when she read the script, her character was just sassy and kind of just like finger snapping and very stereotypical of like black women sassiness. And she like sat down with the director and said, we are making this a real character. And it was
awesome.
because, and for also more sports references, she's Dwayne Wade's wife. Dwayne Wade's one of the greatest shooting guards that ever lived. And so, you know, she sits down and she created that role to have a lot more depth. And there's been a lot of talk that without that, it would not be the beloved cheerleading movie that it is today.
Yeah. And isn't Rihanna's in that one too, right? Yeah, because like the winner, because the winner of the competition gets to be in Rihanna's Pondere play video.
I forgot all about that because I remember the cheer fingers. It's been so long. I mean, my girlfriend made me watch that movie. Sorry, I'm exposing myself to the world here. But I remember these things, and yeah, so I remember that movie. But yes, that is the Crenshaw and All American that they're kind of referencing there. There's a lot of really good references there, and it's a good football show. So if you ever get a chance, check it out.
So go watch All American and then go binge all the Bring It On movies.
Next method.
Get